Sir, stop working for a moment. Did she ask you to be here?
Yes, officer. I'm just trying to clear her walkway.
The neighbors say they've never seen you around here before.
Officer, please let him finish.
Ma'am, why is this walkway so important?
My meals come through that gate every afternoon.
Then nobody's leaving your food at the street again.
Everyone saw an overgrown yard. Nobody knew Mrs. Helen had started missing meals because she couldn't safely reach the people bringing them. Helen was 83 years old and had recently undergone major surgery. When I met her, she moved slowly with a walker and could barely manage the 3 steps between her living room and the porch. The grass outside was knee-high, vines covered the gate, and weeds had swallowed almost the entire walkway. A police officer stopped me at first because neighbors had reported strange activity around the property, but Helen opened the door and immediately said, "Please let him work." I asked why she wanted the walkway cleared before anything else. She looked embarrassed and said, "That's where my lunch comes." After surgery, Helen had enrolled in a meal delivery program because cooking had become difficult. Every afternoon, a volunteer named Marcus brought her a hot meal. At first, Marcus walked all the way to the porch, knocked twice, and waited until Helen opened the door. They developed a little routine. Marcus would tell her what was for lunch. Helen would complain if it was meatloaf. Then she would give him the crossword clue she had been stuck on all morning. "He pretends he knows all the answers," she told me. "Most of the time he looks them up on his phone." But as Helen recovered inside, the yard got worse outside. She couldn't mow. She couldn't pull weeds. She couldn't afford regular lawn service. Eventually the gate stopped opening all the way. Then the walkway became so narrow Marcus was afraid of tripping while carrying the meals. He started leaving the food in a cooler near the sidewalk and calling Helen to tell her it was there. The problem was Helen still had to get it. Some afternoons she managed. Other days her legs were too weak. Once she stood at the front door staring at the cooler for almost an hour before giving up. "I had food 30 feet away," she said, "and it might as well have been 30 miles. She never told Marcus because she didn't want him breaking program rules or spending extra time on her. She never told her daughter because her daughter already called 3 times a day worrying about whether she should move into assisted living. Helen wanted to prove she could still live in the home she had owned for 46 years. "I wasn't hungry because nobody cared," she said. "I was hungry because I was too stubborn to admit 30 feet had become hard. So I started at the sidewalk and worked toward her door. I cut the grass low, pulled vines off the gate, trimmed the bushes, cleared every weed from the concrete, and made the walkway wide enough for someone carrying food to move safely." Helen watched from behind the screen. Halfway through, I heard her call out, "Don't forget that little crack near the second step. I've hated that thing since 1998. She still knew every inch of her home. At exactly 12:40, a small car